What I really enjoy about having guests come to the South Pacific is you see this anticipation in their faces. They have no idea what they're going to see. Our ships are taking them to unique places that not very many people ever go to. Pristine beaches and turquoise lagoons and green lush forests and hikes that are unheard of where they come from. The experience they have by going to Polynesia and observing for themselves rather than hearing it or seeing it from anybody else is priceless. My name is Tua Pittman. Everybody knows me as Tua. Many of the islands in the Pacific have been my home. I have ancestry to New Zealand, to Tahiti, I have lived in Hawaii, but Cook Islands and the Pacific Ocean is my home. I'm a cultural specialist on board the National Geographic Orion. My role is to share with the guests insight into the different cultures of the places that we go to, the history, the traditions, the ancestry, and to have them understand how important the genealogies are to the Pacific Island people.
If rocks are combined together, it brings family and genealogies back together. So this is what this rock here represents.
I am a master navigator, navigating traditional voyaging canoes across the Pacific Ocean. A master navigator is a person who is able to take a family safely from one land to another by observing the natural environment, using the stars, the elements to get from one island to the next without the use of any modern technology or instruments. But it's also being able to provide, protect, and give them guidance, not just at sea, but also in the villages, in the tribes. That's pretty powerful for me. This is my 6th year with Lindblad Expedition. Lindblad Expeditions has taken me to many other areas of the world, but I spend most of my time in the South Pacific. My passion is to share as much of this as I can. This ocean that I come from, before it was a Pacific Ocean, it was called Te Moana Nui Aotea, which has now become Polynesia. Polynesian Triangle is a triangle formed by the Hawaiian Islands in the north, Easter Island in the east, and Aotearoa, New Zealand in the south. Poly meaning many, and Nesia meaning islands. So Polynesia are the many islands of the Pacific, of Te Moana Nui Aotea. When our ships come through this region, our guests see all the different cultures. When we are able to share this with our guests, we call it mana. People are able to see the essence of how strongly we value our culture and our ways.
The tree is a banyan tree, and it's considered a tree of the soul. When the chiefs died, they would wrap them up and they would put them inside the roots of the banyan tree, and their soul would be shared between the heavens and the ancestors below.
When you go to Aotearoa, New Zealand, the magic of the landscape, sharing in the Maori culture, the haka. Then when you go to Rapa Nui, Easter Island, it's the mystique of those moai, the statues, and you spend some quiet time just on your own. It's amazing. Then you come down into French Polynesia and you go onto the marae Tapu Tapu Atea and try and imagine how they tried to bring their tribes and families together in a spiritual way, connecting the living to the ancestors before. In terms of activities on board, the National Geographic Orion offers snorkeling. The divers have the opportunity to see what is under the surface of these beautiful lagoons. Hikes up into the mountains. The birders are able to go out and discover endemic species with professional ornithologists that we have on board. There's stand-up paddleboarding, there's kayaking, being able to experience the cultures and the panpipers, the pan flutes, the drums of the Marquesas, the guitars and ukuleles of French Polynesia, the haka of New Zealand. To be able to experience a place, you have to come and live it, feel that you're one with it, to be part of this environment. This is where the adventure is. This is where you find things that you will never ever see or hardly ever read about in a book. I think that's why we do this, and that's why we call it expedition. That's why our guests are the explorers. Go out, seek, find, understand, and then go home and tell the story. That's the power.